All right. Good to get through the summer program or the spring program, early summer. And, similar to what we've said previously, it's all about, building the foundation and just continuing to learn and get reps and get experience calling plays and seeing plays and going against our defense and the coverages they're playing, I think has been really helpful because it is a different look than what we would see in practice in the past schematically. So you have to get adjusted to that, and you're just kind of getting tested every day on are you learning it and can you do it, and trying to get teammates up to speed as well alongside us. And it's been a really productive spring. So looking forward now to the summer break and handling that like a pro, and then getting ready to go for camp. Take any questions you have.
Coach, explain kind of the thought process between having the back end of the offense and defense go full speed and the front end maybe not go quite full throttle. I guess how does that affect your feeling of things so far, and how do you like that approach to see things develop?
Yeah, it's been a balance the last couple of years of trying to understand protecting one another, pacing yourself, knowing that all that matters is the games this fall, but also trying to get as realistic of a look as you can to prepare, and finding that balance is always a little tricky. But anything from a walkthrough to a jog through to a full speed 7-on-7 rep to telling the lines that they can kind of go half speed, but the skill positions are going to go full speed. We've tried to kind of find that balance, and whatever we're doing, it's still beneficial, but just want to make sure we're coming out healthy and protecting everybody, and I think for the most part we were able to do that.
Kirk, you mentioned it being a little bit of a different look defensively. How does what that group is doing and the way that scheme disguises things, I guess, challenge you in practice as a quarterback?
Yeah, it's muddy. It's really muddy, and so when you drop back, you don't quite know what you're getting, and obviously as a quarterback, but at any position on offense, you want to know what you're getting, and so they're doing a good job with disguise, making things look the same, and that's the best word I can use, is making things feel muddy as I drop back. So I think it's a great scheme, and they do a great job. It just makes practice difficult.
To be the case when you were playing the Fangio Donatel
Yes.
defense, like in Chicago and all that.
Yeah, we practiced against it last year, the Broncos. When they came to town. And I was saying that coming off the practice field every day, that it's interesting what they're doing there with the safeties and how they're playing that pre-snap and post-snap, and the rotations and the pressures and the way they're dropping this guy and not dropping that guy. I mean, you just found yourself saying this is so good to practice against something different, because we're going to see a variety of schemes throughout the season. So in training camp, to be able to see a certain scheme day after day and get familiar with that, but then see a different scheme really helps your preparation. And obviously preseason games enable you to do that as well. So seeing this scheme now on a daily basis is also a new challenge.
Chicago 2018, or is there evolution to it? Or
so the Chicago scheme really stayed the same, going back to, I think Vic was there in 14 or 15. I mean, I played him in 15 with Washington, and we were playing that scheme. And I think they still played it, week 18 last year here in Minnesota when we played him. It was a very similar defense schematically. So yeah, I think it's showing up around the league. I think LA's doing it, Green Bay, Chicago, Seattle, and a few other places as well.
This might not make sense, but when they're making everything look the same, does that almost make play action harder for you? Like when you have your back turned and you can't see how they're rotating or whatever in that first second or two of the play?
Well, I guess that's the point of what I'm saying, is you might as well have your back turned, because it doesn't help you at all to see the defense on the first couple steps, because they're doing such a good job making it muddy that I'll get to my second step and I'll say, I don't have a better answer than I did before the snap. Usually you got your pre-snap look, they'll disguise, but the second you say hut, they're going to where they got to go. And that's not the case. And so you're better off just turning your back, doing a play fake, because you say, I'm not getting any tells anyways.
How long does that push out to? How long until you can see what they're doing?
I mean, as long as they're comfortable, right? So that's where that's the cat and mouse game of if a guy thinks he can make a play across the field from his current alignment, the last thing he wants to do is leave that alignment to tell me something. And so that's why you want to get guys who can run, who can jump, who can cover, who can, understand the percentages of what's coming so that they can start to lean certain ways and hold things longer. And then, you try to take advantage of that and say, hey, if you're going to do that and not get to where I think you ought to be, we need to find a way to make you pay. And, welcome to, coaching and X's and O's and meetings and kind of the cat and mouse game that we have even going on today, trying to find ways to take advantage of them, and they're doing the same to us.
How much can you pre-snap get guys to force them to show their intentions too? So
Right.
like
Oh yeah.
with Justin.
We try.
Right, but
try.
I mean, what's the cat and mouse game there as far as drawing things out pre-snap so you can identify sort of what they're going to do, or at least what they intend to try to do?
We're going to try. We're going to try, but we're also going to understand that really good defenses are going to keep disguising no matter how hard you try. And so you study and you see what ways maybe you can get them to make a tell without them realizing it, but it's getting more and more difficult as the years go on as I've played football, realizing that what you used to do back in 2012 or 13 to get a look, defenses are getting good. They're not doing that anymore.
Have you seen that in what makes a defense disguise most effective over time? Is it consistency or maybe the willingness to trust in that disguise until they...
Yeah, I think it's versatility with players. First of all, if you can trust a linebacker to cover, to pressure, to stop the run, now you don't have to put him in a one role. You can give him a variety of responsibilities, physically and mentally. Same with corners and safeties. If you trust a safety to cover receivers, you can, ask him to play man-to-man, but it doesn't look like man-to-man because that's a safety, not a corner. So there's a variety of things you can do, but it helps to have smart players, helps to have versatile players, and I think we have both.
How much do you keep in touch with guys on the offense, or do you just kind of think it's almost best if everybody just gets a little time to themselves and then reconvene?
I think it's important to stay in touch over the summer, you're saying. Yeah, I think, group texts and probably, not getting together necessarily. I don't know that it's, necessary to have everybody fly somewhere and meet when we are going to have so much time on task together come July and through August. But I think it's important to just stay in touch, keep building relationships, and inevitably you have so many stuff come up, throughout the summer where you text your teammates and stay connected.
Kirk, at this point, how much feedback can you give with the offense as you're trying to learn it, but also communicate with Kevin?
Yeah, there's an ongoing discussion of learning what's new, sharing some things that we've done well in the past, and then allowing them to filter that and decide what they want to implement, what they maybe want to set aside, what they want to put on ice for later. Because you're just building blocks right now, and so there's some things that we just aren't even going to get to until training camp, and as a result, we're only covering so much right now.
Play call wise, Kirk, I saw the story that said Kevin's going to call in to you 2 plays, and it's your choice then. Is that what Clint did as well, or is this a different choice for you to have 2 different options when you get to the line of scrimmage?
No, it's been pretty common now for many years that you want to run optimum plays and give yourself the best chance for success. So you're trying to have 2 plays in the huddle or multiple plays at the line of scrimmage or a menu of plays at the line of scrimmage that you have at your disposal so that you're not wasting plays. You only get 60 to 70 in a game. Let's make sure every single one is the best we can do. And so I think that's kind of always been an important part of having a successful offense.
Kevin talked quite a bit really through the offseason about this idea of having everybody connected, and you guys have had chances to go do things together off the field. How does that translate to a team being successful when you get back here in the fall?
It's difficult to articulate or to quantify. How does time spent together at Topgolf equate to a fourth quarter win? But I've been around team sports just too long to believe it doesn't. I think it matters. I think you build relationships, you build trust, you get to know guys. It makes the day-to-day more fun because you have these relationships and you're counting on one another, and you want to succeed for the players around you, and you want to see them have success. And so it just kind of creates, I think, an extra heartbeat or just a greater love for the guys around you that, for some strange reason, I think helps you play football better together. Alrighty. Thanks, guys. Have a great summer.
You too.